Welcome to a new video on my channel. In this video I will show you all the animatronics from the Five Nights at Freddy's movie with their respective details of each character. Let's get started. The ghost child who possesses Freddy is shown to be a young boy wearing a white top hat with a black strap. This spirit is likely that of Gabriel, a little boy kidnapped by William Afton in the game's continuity. Freddy remains largely the same as his appearance in the first game, though there are minor differences. He is a brown color with his muzzle, stomach and paw pads on his hands and feet being an orange color. His inner ears are a brown color and his top hat and bow tie are now made from fabric instead of plastic. In his right hand he carries his iconic microphone. Freddy's eyes are now a more vibrant blue color than the original baby blue. His eyes light up bright yellow and red during the film. These creative decisions were heavily criticized by the community, but they looked really good in the film. The 80s version of Freddy is identical to the design we see in the movie, with the difference that it is much cleaner and more colorful. We can see him for brief seconds during the film since his scenes were removed from the final footage. The ghost child who possesses Bonnie is shown to be quite tall. That on his head he wears a pair of paper rabbit ears. This spirit is likely that of Jeremy, a little boy kidnapped by William Afton in the game's continuity. Bonnie's appearance is almost identical to his incarnation in the classic game, but with slight differences. He is now more of a light blue, unlike his original selves looking more faded indigo. His bow tie is now made of fabric instead of plastic, and the lighter color on his belly now extends up to his neck. The pads on the bottoms of his feet are now black instead of sharing the lighter blue color of his accents. And in his hands he carries the guitar of the updated version without copyright. Bonnie's eyes are now a more vibrant crimson color than the original light magenta. His eyes light up an intense yellow color, just like Freddy's. Also, his red eyes were first seen on the promotional posters. The 80s version of Bonnie is identical to the design we see in the movie, with the difference that it's much more colorful and cleaner. Unfortunately, we never got to see it in the final footage. The ghost child who possesses Chica is shown to be a blonde little girl with two ponytails. A piece of cardboard is shown to be strapped around her neck, similar to Chica's bib. This spirit is likely that of Susie, a little girl kidnapped by William Afton in the game's continuity. The 80s version of Chica is identical to the design we see in the film, with the only difference being that it's much more colorful and cleaner. Curiously, these clean animatronics were only suits worn by one actor and did not have the animatronic version. Chica's eyes are still similar to her first incarnation in the games, but are now a darker shade of magenta. Her eyes light up bright yellow, as do his band friends. Likewise, she also has terrifying red eyes. The 80s version of Chica is identical to the design we see in the film, with the only difference being that it's much more colorful and cleaner. Curiously, these clean animatronics were only suits worn by one actor and did not have the animatronic version. Mr. Cupcake is a small cupcake animatronic prop with pink frosting, a yellow striped birthday candle and buck teeth. He has a brown wrapper and is on a metal plate when it is next to Chica. He is also shown to hide a row of sharp metallic teeth under the plastic exterior. Mr. Cupcake's eyes have an amber irises and also light up completely bright yellow. Unfortunately, his red eyes were never shown during the film. The ghost child who possesses Foxy is shown to be quite short with red hair and dons a cardboard hook on his right hand. Just like an animatronic he controls. This spirit is likely that of Fritz, a little boy kidnapped by William Afton in the game's continuity. Foxy's appearance is completely accurate to that of the game, aside from his pants, which are comprised of real material rather than just being brown-colored suit parts. His body is red color with a pinkish-orange muzzle and stomach. He has noticeably damaged legs and left hand. His right hand is a hook and his signature eye patch that's duct taped to the back of his head. Foxy's eyes are a lighter yellow, unlike the original game. His eyes also light up yellow, just like his friends of the band. Near the end of the film we can see her red eyes when she tries to capture Abby Schmidt. The 80s version of Foxy is very different from the design we see in the movie, with big changes apart from being more colorful and cleaner. He is the only animatronic that has fur on his face, hands and legs, also has claws, and his paws only have 2 fingers. This is the first time we get to see Foxy's original design before it was damaged. The ghost who possesses Golden Freddy is a little child with blonde hair. Although in the continuity of the games the soul that possesses this animatronic is Cassidy, and in the novel series it is Michael Brooks. It is unknown if any of them is the child we see in the film. Golden Freddy curiously seems to be a fusion between the one we see in the first and second game. He is a yellow color and his muzzle, stomach, ears and hand pads are a lighter shade of his main color. His paw pads are metallic and black. His left ear is missing, leaving wires to stick out along. His right eye is black with a blue pupil while the left eye is missing. And his top hat seems to have holes and is leaning on the left side of his head. William Afton is a tall-looking middle-aged man with gray hair, blue eyes and beard. His alter ego the Yellow Rabbit is a springlock suit that he uses to commit his crimes. The Yellow Rabbit suit has the right side of the suit badly damaged. The jaw being open allows Afton's goatee to be seen inside the suit. Half of the right ear is snapped off and wires and other rusted metal rip out of it. He also wears his characteristic purple bow tie with 2 black buttons underneath. He has articulated gloves to facilitate hand mobility and carries a large knife. The pupils of his eyes glow with a very intense light when the suit is active. The unwithered Yellow Rabbit suit is seen in the film when Vanessa shows Mike an old photo. Its teeth have a different shape than the damaged suit, being more similar to those of a real rabbit. He also has sky blue eyes and the suit is much cleaner with has all its pieces complete. Mike Schmidt's younger sister, Abby, is a young girl with short brown hair. She came very close to being the bearer of the Ella animatronic, after Chica tried to force her into the suit. Ella is a white doll-like springlock suit with round pink cheeks, pink lipstick and brown hair in small ringlets. She wears a blue bonnet with light pink frills, a blue long-sleeved dress with cuffs and a light pink ribbon tied around her waist. She also wears high stockings and strap shoes on her feet. After being caught by Bonnie, Hank is put inside Sparky's suit. It's still unknown if the animatronic is possessed by him. Sparky is a tan dog with his muzzle, stomach and paw pads on his hands and feet being in gray color. His ears are brown and floppy. He looks very dirty and unkempt with black smudges surrounding his left eye. He also wears a red necklace with a golden dog bone around his neck and his eyes are reddish orange. After being caught by Freddy, Maxine is put inside Shadow Freddy's suit. It's still unknown if the animatronic is possessed by her. Shadow Freddy is yet another version of Freddy Fazbear but completely purple in color except for the paw pads on his feet which are a lighter purple. Like his other Golden Freddy counterpart, his left ear is missing, leaving wires to stick out along. Now his eyes are completely white and seem to light up when he is active. Balloon Boy wears a red and blue striped shirt with black buttons, a propeller hat and blue pants with brown shoes. He also holds his iconic sign that says, "Balloons," as well as a yellow and red striped balloon. Unlike his in-game counterpart, his eyes are much more bulging and his teeth are much larger and more prominent. He looks plumper and his body has different proportions than his original counterpart. Torture Freddy is extremely damaged compared to its functional counterpart, having green fur with missing patches and exposed rusted metal. Several of its freckles are replaced with metal bolts, its teeth are cracked and its left eyebrow is missing, being replaced with a piece of tape with the eyebrow drawn on. Instead of normal eyes, it has black spheres with pinprick holes. On its backside it has been hollowed out and filled with sharp gears and saw blades and 2 large red lights fitted with aperture shutter. Welcome to a new video. This time, I'll present the animatronics revealed so far from the second Five Nights at Freddy's movie, highlighting the unique details that set them apart from the game versions. These designs were created by the user Ubuntu. This video will be remastered after the movie's release. Let's get started.
Just ignore me and pretend I'm not even here.
Toy Freddy is the redesigned counterpart of the original Freddy Fazbear, serving as the singing mascot of the band at the revamped Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. By the time of the second film, years have passed since the closure of this new pizzeria, which is why all the toy animatronics appear somewhat dirty. He has a similar appearance to his counterpart from the first movie, but he is much shinier and chubbier. He is now made entirely of a plastic-like material and has many more joints. He is light brown with orange coloring on his belly, muzzle, and inner ears. He has black eyebrows and nose, short eyelashes, brown eyelids and sky blue eyes. As is characteristic of all toy animatronics, he has red cheeks. He has 2 rows of teeth and his top hat has a red stripe. Also, he is equipped with an advanced mobility and facial recognition system, which is linked to a criminal database in order to protect children from potential predators. Not possessed by any spirit, he's simply an animatronic controlled by William Afton to eliminate his victims.
There you are. What do we have here?
Toy Bonnie is the redesigned counterpart of the original Bonnie the Rabbit, serving as the singing mascot of the band at the refurbished Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. He has undergone a very drastic change, with more androgynous features while retaining some traits of his original design in from first film. He is colored shiny sky blue, with his belly, muzzle and insides of his ears a pale blue. He also has a tail of the same color, being one of the few animatronics to have this extra limb. Also, his eyes are green eyes, magenta eyelids, long eyelashes, red cheeks and his teeth now look more like those of a rabbit. Like Toy Freddy, he looks a little dirty and is equipped with a facial recognition system, connected to a criminal database to help protect children from possible threats. He's not possessed by any spirit either, he's just a machine used by Afton to eliminate his victims. Toy Chica is the redesigned counterpart of the original Chica the Chicken, serving as the backup singer of the band at the revamped Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. She has a noticeably curvier and more feminine appearance, very different from her look in the first movie. She is a yellow-orange chicken with a removable orange beak, sky blue eyes, purple eyelids, long eyelashes and orange feet. Like the other toy animatronics, she has cheeks, though hers are pink rather than red. Just like the original Chica, she has a bib. However, hers reads, "Less is party," instead of, "Let's eat." She wears pink shorts on her lower body and always carries a pink cupcake with bulging eyes. Also, she is equipped with advanced mobility and facial recognition systems. Not possessed by any spirit, she is simply an animatronic controlled by Afton.
Together. Let's see how long they were.
Mangle is the redesigned counterpart of Foxy the Pirate, serving as a dismantleable animatronic mascot for the children at the refurbished Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Formerly known as Funtime Foxy, she is the version that Fazbear Entertainment attempted to remake to appear more friendly, undergoing the most drastic changes among all the toy animatronics. After being disassembled and disfigured by children, she retains only her head, both hands, and her right foot. Not possessed by any spirit either, she's simply a machine controlled by Afton. She features pink and white colors, long teeth, a missing left eye, red cheeks, lipstick, violet eyelids, long eyelashes and amber-colored eyes. Her endoskeleton has many peculiarities. She wears a pink bow tie on her chest. She has 3 legs and an extra endoskeleton head emerges from her right side. Also, in her pelvis there is a white sphere that presumably used to be the joint for her tail.
I planned something special, just for...
Withered Freddy is the damaged and old version of the original Freddy Fazbear, who was replaced by his toy version many years before the second film. His overall appearance hasn't changed much compared to the first movie, but several differences can be noticed, mainly that he looks more robust, damaged and dirty. The most notable feature is the visible damage on his arms and legs, which now expose wires and parts of his endoskeleton. He has 2 rows of teeth, which adds a more intimidating touch to his design. Also, 2 black buttons have been added to his chest and it can be noticed that he is missing the kneecaps on his legs. Despite all this deterioration, it's worth noting that he still holds his microphone. The ghost child who possesses Freddy is shown to be a young boy wearing a white top hat with a black strap. This spirit is likely that of Gabriel, a little boy kidnapped by William Afton in the game's continuity. Withered Bonnie is the broken and worn-out version of the original Bonnie the Bunny, who got replaced by his toy version a long time before the second film. He looks much more damaged than his counterpart in the first movie, though he retains his blue colors and hues. Just like Freddy, he has 2 buttons on his chest and he still wears his red bow tie. Half of his face was torn off by Fazbear Entertainment technicians in an attempt to add facial recognition technology. His limbs have several holes from which wires protrude, exposing his dirty and rusty endoskeleton. Also, his left arm is missing, leaving wires hanging in its place. He has no eyes and in their place are only 2 bright red lights, which give him an even more disturbing appearance. The ghost child who possesses Bonnie is shown to be quite tall and wears a pair of paper rabbit ears on his head. This spirit is likely that of Jeremy, a little boy kidnapped by William Afton in the game's continuity. Withered Chica is the worn-out and older version of the original Chica the chicken, who was swapped out for her toy version years before the second film. She looks visibly more damaged than her version from the first movie, with major changes to the shape of her head, which is now much larger and a separated jaw, connected only by wires and metal rods. Her torso doesn't show many visible damages however. Her arms and legs have many holes through which her dirty and rusty endoskeleton is exposed, giving her a disturbing and neglected appearance. Most notably, where her hands used to be, there are now 2 stumps from which long, worn cables emerge, possibly due to technicians attempting to install more advanced technology, although seemingly without success. The ghost child who possesses Chica is shown to be a blonde little girl with 2 ponytails. A piece of cardboard is strapped around her neck, resembling Chica's bib. This spirit is likely that of Susie, a young girl who was kidnapped by William Afton in the game's continuity. Withered Foxy is the damaged and broken version of the original Foxy the Pirate, who was replaced by his toy counterpart long before the events of the second film. His appearance is very similar to that of his counterpart in the first movie, except he is much more damaged, with holes scattered all over his body, giving him an even more eerie and worn-out look. The lower part of his torso is completely torn and the left side of his head has a large hole, exposing part of the endoskeleton of his ear. Both his legs and his left hand fully reveal the endoskeleton, while his right hand still holds his characteristic hook. Also, he has fur on his cheeks and his pants are made of real fabric instead of just being parts of the costume. The ghost child who possesses Foxy is shown to be quite short, with red hair and wears a cardboard hook on his right hand, just like the animatronic he controls. This spirit is likely that of Fritz, a young boy who was kidnapped by William Afton in the game's continuity.
I recognize you, but I'm not afraid of you.
The puppet, also known as Marionette, is one of the first animatronics created long before the main restaurant banned. He was likely stored for many years in the pizzeria scene in the second film. He is a completely black animatronic toy puppet made of a felt-like material. On his head, he wears a plastic Pierrot mask with purple tears and red cheeks, along with buttons and white stripes on his limbs. His presence was hinted at the end of the first movie, when we can hear his music box after the end credits and was confirmed during the latest teaser. It is theorized that the child possessing this animatronic is the spirit of Garrett, Mike Schmidt's younger brother, who was kidnapped by William after many years before the events of the first film. Balloon Boy is a humanoid animatronic with advanced movement and facial recognition technology, part of the toy line created for the revamped Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. By the time of the second film, much years have passed since the closure of this new pizzeria, which is why all the toy animatronics appear somewhat deteriorated. He closely resembles his video game counterpart. He is a round body, peach-colored skin, an orange triangular nose, brown hair, and a toothy grin. He has large blue eyes that can light up and emit a bright glow. Like the other toy animatronics, he has red cheeks. He wears a red and blue striped shirt with black buttons, a matching propeller hat, blue pants and brown shoes. A figurine version of Balloon Boy also appears in the first movie, jump-scaring Mike and the taxi driver.